In this video, I'm going to share with you 7 common mistakes that consulting founders make that will help you to avoid them and therefore prosper. So let's get into this. Michael Zapersky here from Consulting Success. I'm the CEO and co-founder. We've been working with consultants for over 15 years now, helping them to grow and scale their consulting businesses in a way that supports their lifestyle and ultimately allows them to have and make a great impact at doing work that they truly enjoy while making significantly more money and just feeling more confident and successful. Prior to that, building consulting businesses for many years around the world. And so that's why we started Consulting Success, to share with people what we had gone through in building these different consulting businesses with the hopes that we could help them to accelerate their success and avoid many of the common mistakes that we ourselves made. So I'm going to share some of that with you here today. Again, 7 specific things that I see pop up all the time that I want to help you to avoid so that you can accelerate your own success as a consulting business founder. All right, so the first one is a lack of a really clear growth strategy. Many founders fail to develop a growth strategy that really aligns with their long-term goals. They're just kind of going day by day. There's no real time, there's no real thought given to what is our strategy. I'm not talking about just a tactic, right? A lot of people use the word strategy, but really what they're referring to is a tactic, something that is just doing something that is short term. Very few people give enough time and enough thought to what is our actual growth strategy for this consulting business? How do we really create differentiation and distinction between others in the marketplace and what we're doing? Are we really in a market that has growth potential? Do we have a plan to become number one in this market so we are the obvious choice? And so that's a really big one. The other thing related to growth strategy is that most consulting founders don't invest enough time, energy, and resources into their marketing and sales efforts. And that makes sense. I mean, it's logical to a point because most people get their initial few clients from their own network and from referrals. I host the Consulting Success podcast, and we've done almost 400 episodes at this point. The most common way that I've always heard from guests about how they started their consulting business and where their first few clients came from was from their network. So it makes sense that initially people aren't actively thinking about how do we grow the business? What sales approaches or methods should we be using? If you don't pay attention to marketing and sales, it's going to hurt you. Inevitably, it will come back and bite you. And so the sooner that you start thinking about proactively working on, first of all, having a real strategic plan, and then what marketing and sales efforts are required to support that growth plan, the better off your consulting business is going to be. And the clients that we work with who have these in place, and this is what we help our clients to do, are really able to create tremendous growth and success. We've seen clients double, even triple their businesses in a much shorter period of time than they thought possible, because when they start doing the right things in the right order and they start actually paying attention to what actually works in the consulting world, specifically focused around growth, they got to see the benefits of that. The second area that people kind of often make a mistake around is that they neglect their systems and processes. As your company grows, as you expand, as you become more established, your systems and processes need to keep up. When you're just a solo consultant doing things yourself, you may find that you don't really need to spend too much time developing systems and processes. It'd be like an afterthought. And guess what? That's actually okay. When it's just you and you're getting started, you should not be thinking about systems and processes right away. Your focus should just be on validation and proving that you actually can provide a solution that is valuable and solves the problems that your ideal clients have. But once you get what some people kind of refer to as product market fit, once you have that, then you're going to need to think about, well, how do we grow? How do we make an even greater impact? How do we achieve that next level of success? What does that next level even look like? And in order to get there in a way that is sustainable and in a way that really allows you to create more impact, more growth, more revenue, more profits without you having to work nonstop and burn out and feel overwhelmed, you need systems and processes. You need that to be able to delegate. You need that to be able to train your team members. And whether that is even contractors or freelancers, or whether it's part-time or full-time people, systems and processes are ultimately what will help you to build, to grow, to delegate, to be sustainable, and to be a lot more efficient, effective, and profitable. So thinking about operational inefficiencies, thinking about any ways of making your systems and processes more robust or streamlined is really critical to growth. And so if you're not paying attention to those right now, if you don't even know what that looks like, that's a big opportunity for you to avoid that mistake and start paying attention to it now. The third mistake that people make is what I would refer to as inadequate resource allocation. As your company grows, you're going to need to think about how do you take the money that you're generating as a business and how do you allocate that so that it supports what your ultimate goals are. And that will be different for potentially each person depending on what your goals are. But that might be about, do we need to invest into technology at some point? Maybe we need a better CRM or just need a CRM. Maybe we need some kind of a collaboration software so that we can have a secure way to share information and get projects done with our clients. Maybe we need to invest into software that allows us to track utilization of our team and see how we can be more profitable, more efficient, and more effective. Maybe we need to allocate resources to actually making a hire, whether that's a senior person, a junior person, or multiple people. Maybe we need to allocate more resources into our marketing efforts. Whatever it might be, you need to think more strategically and more effectively about how you allocate resources. It might also be about how do you take the money that you're making and invest it in a way that helps you to achieve your longer term goals. These are all questions that you should be paying attention to and considering to get the most out of your business, right? Your business should work for you, not the other way around. You shouldn't work for your business. The business should work for you, but that will only happen if you set up the business the right way and pay attention to key things. If you're asking the right questions and know what to look for, your business can be an incredible way for you to make a massive impact doing things that you love doing while generating wealth for you, for your team members, for your family, and everyone else that you care about. So here, it's also, as I kind of talked about and alluded to in terms of resource allocation, talent management. You're going to put resources into people. People are key to the growth of your business if you're choosing a model that is beyond just yourself, which many consultants do at some point. So how do you attract the right people? How do you retain the right people? How do you develop your people? Often you're going to want to make investments into your own people, getting your team members additional training, coaching, give them access to courses or whatever it might be that helps them to level up, to skill up, to produce and to perform at even a higher, more effective level for you, while also they're feeling like, wow, my boss or our company really invests in me. That's a great feeling that people often appreciate. Number 4, big mistake that people make is they ignore client feedback. You want to pay attention to what your clients are telling you. You also want to pay attention to what's happening in the marketplace at large. Very often, it's quite common to see that as your business becomes more successful and more established and you become busier, that you as the founder actually are removing yourself or have been removed from a lot of the day-to-day interaction or a lot of the client interaction, which is normal and for many founders is the direction that they want to go. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, it's important that you make sure that you don't move yourself so far away that you and the company aren't getting client feedback or market feedback on ongoing, consistent basis. Because when you pay attention to what your clients tell you, you'll be able to make better decisions. You're going to find opportunities to offer additional value, new products, new services to your clients. And if your clients want that, it's very likely that others in the marketplace also want that, which gives you and brings you new and greater opportunities for expansion. Now, the opposite of that is also true, that if you don't pay attention to what your clients are telling you, if you are too far removed from what's happening inside of your business and what's happening around your business in the marketplace, you're going to tend to launch things or do things that don't actually connect with what people value any longer. And that can be quite costly if you spend a lot of time and energy developing a new product or a new program only to find out that nobody really wants to buy it. Or you invest in some massive technology because it seems like the cool thing to have, and then you realize that's actually not what people want or isn't what your team wants, or doesn't allow or deliver the experience that you or your team or your clients desire. So getting feedback on an ongoing basis is really critical, a very common mistake. Pay attention to that. Number 5 is what I would call a lack of financial discipline. And as your revenue increases, it's easy to think that just more revenue solves all problems, but not all revenue is created equal. You might have one client that you're doing some work for paying you $150,000, and you might have another client paying you $75,000, and you might initially think that, yes, the $150,000 client, that's what we want more of. But if you're not doing an analysis on the profitability and other components of all work that you're doing and types of clients, you might actually find when you do the analysis that you're making less profit on the $150,000 client than you are on the $75,000 client. And so as your company evolves and grows and develops, it's really really important to pay attention to the finances of your business, right? That financial discipline in terms of projects, in terms of clients, in terms of your team, in terms of investments that you make around your own marketing and technology and tools. These are all things that you can wake up one day and go like, wow, we're spending a lot of money on something that actually isn't adding much value for us anymore. Or we have maybe a team member that we've kept on for a bit too long and they're not stepping up, and we've talked to them and they still aren't making the changes that we spoke about previously. Whatever it might be, right? Finances are ultimately what will help you to ensure that you're on the right track. If you have a business, even if you're doing great work, but your finances have gotten away from you and you're not profitable, or you get to a point where you're losing money, then you're not going to be in a position to continue serving and making the impact that you want to have. And so making sure that you are kind of fiscally responsible and staying on top of your finances will make you a more strategic and more effective business leader. And therefore that will translate into a more successful and sustainable business. Number 6 is a very common mistake as well, being resistant to change or being resistant to innovation. When you're successful for a period of time, it's easy to feel that you already know what you need to do. It's easy to feel like, yeah, I already know what the market wants. The problem is that what the market wanted 3 years ago isn't necessarily what the market wants today. If you're not looking at what's happening around you, you might wake up one day and realize that the product or service that you used to offer has now been replaced by something else that costs half the price, or that people can access themselves and no longer need you. So critical that you are paying attention to what's happening around you. It's important that you are thinking about innovation, that you don't resist change. It doesn't mean that you should jump on every shiny new object and every new kind of tool or technology that comes your way, because that by itself can lead to great failure. What I'm referring to here is the importance of being aware of what's going on and not just objecting to or resisting change just because you think you already know what you need to be successful. My respectful suggestion would be for you to pay attention to what's happening. Be open to change. Be open to looking at things from different perspectives. Be open to trying new things and innovating with that. And innovation doesn't have to be some massive game changer. It might be small little constant steps you take towards making improvement, but over time those compound and then do lead to significant kind of game-changing results. And final one, and I know this is a big one that comes up, as we speak with our clients, and that is neglecting personal and professional development. When you're busy building a business, it's easy to neglect yourself, right? Taking care of your own health, whether that's mental health, physical health, spiritual health, taking care of your family, making sure that your present spouse or parent, partner, whatever those things might be. Those are all really important. If you're burnt out, if your relationships are in shambles, if your health is not great, it's very hard to have a successful consulting business for the long term. And so taking care of yourself personally will allow you to take care of yourself and the business professionally. The second one is your own ability to invest in yourself and in the business. The same way that you would invest in your people or in doing marketing or in a technology or CRM platform, or the same way that somebody might, invest in going to an MBA or a master's program in education or a PhD. Investing in yourself as a consulting founder is one of the best investments that you can make, because you get to control the decisions that you make. Things are always happening around us from a health perspective or an economic perspective, or there's wars, or there's lots of stuff that we cannot control, but there's certain things that you can control. And when you invest and focus on those, that's where you tend to see significant benefits and great growth and progress and value creation. And that's why we hear from our clients that reach out and come into our coaching programs. It's because they want to invest in themselves. They recognize that they can control a lot of their business growth if they know what to do and if they have a strategy and a plan for that. So don't neglect yourself personally and don't neglect yourself professionally, because if you want to build a business that your clients and team members and the market at large looks up to, they're not going to look up to somebody who isn't taking care of themselves. And so if you want to level up your business, you need to level up yourself. If you want to get to higher levels, if you want to achieve greater success, you can't do that unless you know what greater success looks like. That's not going to happen unless you have a path and a plan to be able to achieve it. So we have a lot of resources available for you on the YouTube channel here, a lot of resources on LinkedIn, on our website, consultingsuccess.com. And of course, if you'd like to jump on a call to talk more about your situation, our whole team is ready here to speak with you to see how we can best support you, to talk about your current challenges, your goals, and then what path might be the best for you to take your business from where it is right now to that next level of growth and success.